All right. We got it going this time. Happy Friday, y'all. It is Friday, so you know what that means. We have something red, wear something red, and we remember everyone deployed. So join us for happy hour, grab a drink, and I'll be right back with my buddy Clint Westwood right after this. Okay, everything was fine. And then I couldn't get the video to play, the countdown. And then the whole thing crashed. So I had to restart my computer. Sorry about that, you guys. Late start.
Crazy stuff going on.
Always
Blackout.
blackout. You're on happy hour.
Blackout. Yeah.
Takes on a whole new meaning when you have it on a happy hour blackout.
I keep waiting for this thing to go live. I will be blacking out. I'm drinking too much.
That could be dangerous. So cheers, Westwood. What you drinking?
Just a tiny splash of the scotch I got for Christmas, the last bottle. Drop in the bottle, and so I got to switch over to bourbon after that.
Oh, a little splash in the bottle.
That's the last of the scotch I got for Christmas.
Interesting.
So yes, I'll switch over to bourbon here.
I wouldn't even know how to buy people scotch. Like what do you look for?
My dad bought me a little sampler. He came over Monday and watched the football game. Unfortunately, Alabama lost in overtime.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Though. It was a great game though. But he brought me over some mini bottles, like 200 milliliter bottles of 4 different scotches from 4 different regions.
Cool.
In Scotland. And so I was going to tap those open today. I thought, I don't want to get too reckless with that stuff. It's actually pretty good. So I'll get in some cheaper stuff tonight.
That's good stuff.
But yeah, I mean, there's different regions. You're right. It's like buying a cigar for somebody. It's like, I have no idea what to buy this guy.
Yeah.
What's he even smoke? There's so many different ones. Scotch, same way. It's like, not all scotches are the same. So it's like,
Is that stuff where it's like about the earth? It's more earthy or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of it is. There's one in particular on the island of Islay. It's spelled Islay, but it's Islay, and that's one that's real peaty and fiery, smoky. And a lot of people don't like it. I mean, but if you like it, you can't get it out of your head. It's like that flavor that's just so unique.
It's like black licorice.
Yes, I gotta have it again. You keep going back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
you either like black licorice or you hate it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing.
I'm a black licorice liker.
I love the real stuff. There's a name for it that the Norwegians or something make, and the Nordics.
Jägermeister.
No, it's real salty. It's
really?
Licorice, but it isn't. It's real salty and really powerful. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody in chat might know. There's a specific name for that licorice. It's really good. When you have it, it's just like
I didn't know that.
Flavors. It's good stuff.
Of like where it's originally from. Oh my gosh! Breaking news. This week, Uncle Cliff talked about our 6-pack in the brewery.
I saw that.
I was so excited.
He's leaking out. You were the predictive linguistic one. And now he's leaking it out.
I predicted Uncle Cliff's words. I'm a web bot.
Yeah, you did it. Web bot.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I got so excited. He was talking about Reggie Middleton. He said if I had a brewery one day, I would name a beer after Reggie Middleton and put his patents on each beer. And I was like,
cool.
I said, actually, I've been talking about something like that for years. I said we would have Cliff High, which would be an IPA, like high hoppy IPA. And then Wick's beer. We've always talked about Wick's beer.
Right, of course.
And then we would have like Jenny Moonstone would be like a moonshine kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Snippy Sippy was like a wine cooler because he likes wine coolers.
And it's got a pacifier or a nipple on top. So just a little bit.
But he likes wine coolers. So I thought that would be funny. Bitcoin Ben was going to be like just a Pilsner,
Yeah, just a brew.
A working man's beer.
Yeah, brew.
And I was going to be the blonde brew, of course. And we were gonna have a Westwood whiskey,
That,
of
that came
course.
later. That's when the distillery opens. The whiskey
Yeah,
place.
then we'll have the distillery stuff because that's
Yeah.
Nana needs her gin.
Yes.
You need a whiskey.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember all of them. We had like, yeah, we've talked about all
Yeah,
this.
you just fill in the blanks. You find somebody, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, that's a gin person. That's a whiskey person.
it'd be so much fun. My problem is by the
That's
time
a
I think,
Cuervo person.
yeah, we could have a Javi,
Hobby tequila.
Jave tequila. That's
Javitos.
that almost sounds a little Jewish, like Jave Nagila, Jave
Jave
tequila.
tequila. Jave tequila.
We have
Yeah.
a Mexican Christmas.
Let's
Jave
get the
tequila.
dreidels out. It'll be shaped like a dreidel bottle.
Yeah.
So you spin it. Yeah.
I'm sure like we're saying all kinds of things that people are would
All
say
kinds
are
of
like
inappropriate bar talk.
inappropriate,
Cheers.
politically incorrect things. Cheers. I love everyone. Get a sense of humor, for God's sake.
Exactly. I love y'all and I hate y'all. So, somewhere in between, we're going to talk about all of you.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I'm so I feel really at peace these last few days. There's quite a while there where I wasn't sleeping, and
right, because
I was really digging in on a lot of information, and the children thing really has been upsetting me. Like, I mean, I know we've all known it's been going on, but like there's just so much of it, and as a parent, it's really upsetting, and I want it to stop. I hope that it is being stopped or has been stopped.
I hope so.
Yeah, but I think that they're gonna start showing people like the real ugly, dirty stuff about it.
I think it needs to happen because
yeah.
a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, we already knew Bill Clinton liked him young." It's kind of like
Yeah,
we already knew that.
I don't think you knew that.
I don't think you understand.
What you understand, and
it's not 22-year-old Monica Lewinsky. It's
6 and 7-year-old.
Divide that number,
and then what they do to them afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's what I think will, and maybe soon will come out. But I think there's been a couple of people that I really respect that I've listened to some interviews with, and I put some dots together that like the time is now. All the information's been out there, and now at this point, like the people that already know this, like I had some people that I really love and respect send me an email, and they were like, "Lisa, it's okay. You might want to just close your computer and disconnect for the next couple weeks or months. Just go be with your family and whatever you already know. But what's coming out next is for the people who weren't willing to listen or be awake or whatever. For the normies, So, no, ready. Trump is not also dirty. You're missing the point.
Well, he wasn't named in the Epstein files. We found that out.
Right.
So he wasn't engaged.
He didn't go to the island.
Right.
So no, you're incorrect. And
everybody's dirty at some level. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Define dirty.
Well, we're all human. Yeah.
Right.
But we're all here. This is about us taking responsibility for ourselves and figuring out, what's right for us and all of that. So everybody can figure it out for themselves.
That's it. Follow your path. Trust your gut. I mean, we all have different things we resonate with. Not everybody smokes cigars. Not everybody drinks scotch. That's okay.
Or Tito's.
And that's okay.
Tito's call me. So I put a couple things together. I don't know if I'm going to disclose all of it, but Jean-Claude did a great job with his interview with Jay Widener. And Jay said he made a point to say that he did his, you can buy his documentary. I think it's like $1.50 or something. Everyone should go buy that documentary just to support his work and to archive it and to have it and show support for truthers and all this. And it shows not the footage that Roger Stone put out, or not Roger Stone. What's his name? Who's the film guy? Stone.
Michael Moore?
No, Stone.
Oh, not Sean Stone. That's the son. It's
Is
Why
it
can't I think
Roger
of it?
Stone?
No, the Roger Stone's
That's
the
an
other guy.
attorney.
Roger Stone's got the tattoo
Why
of
am I
Nixon on his back.
blanking on this?
No, it's
So
Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone. Thank you. I'm like, why
I
am
couldn't
I
think of it
blanking?
either.
Okay,
Wonder
not
Twins
the.
and Power is not connected.
Yeah, sorry, not the Oliver Stone
Oliver
footage.
Stone is the one.
Yes.
You're talking
Okay,
about.
so
Yeah.
not that footage, but the actual footage that was given to Oliver Stone. But he explains Oliver Stone was so vested already in his theory and movie that he went ahead and put out the fake stuff anyway. But the original movie is missing all of this.
Which movie? Are we talking JFK?
JFK. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, JFK movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So JFK faked his own death. And just real quickly, the part of what's missing is the timing, the scenes where he's putting a device or something up to his head, which is probably like putty
Time
or
machine.
something. No, to make the explosion and whatever.
Oh, yeah, like that.
And then he explains that, it is not a natural human reaction for guns to be shooting at you and you to jump up and reach to get a device or whatever off the back of the car. If you and your husband are being shot at, you would be cowering.
Like Jackie did, where she's crawling back.
And not only Jackie, but Jackie and the Secret Service guy were grabbing for the same thing, which was most likely the device that was used to fake his death.
But we didn't have actual footage of anything then, so it's hard to say. We had the Zapruder film, but that had issues.
That's the other thing is that this guy was like the most filmed person of his time at the time. And magically there were no other films or.
Where was the press? I don't know.
Where's the press?
I get it. I mean, you can't be like on the whole motorcade, so, there's that, but.
There should have been other people, other eyes there. There should have been. Anyway, it was a great interview. I recommend everybody going to Jean-Claude's channel and watching it. And he does a great job. Jay Widener. Yeah, okay. It's called JFKX. It's an interview with Jay Widener. But my point with that, one of the things that he said that I pulled out of the interview is he said that, and it matched up with something Jim Willie told me after our interview. Jim had said that the generals at CENTCOM were having some infighting and said, like, we're not going to wait till November. It's going to happen before June, and the military will be in control publicly. And
that's this year. We're in 2024 now.
Yes.
1963. Okay, I just get my timelines right.
Right. Sorry.
I slip. I don't know.
No, I'm glad you clarified because I'm talking to myself in my head and I think it makes sense, but it's good for you to clarify for
this year,
right now. This year, right now. So, Jim Willie was talking about right now. And he said, but, the banks have to go down under Biden. So that has to happen quickly, pretty soon here. And then, but most likely before June or July, then we'll have military in control publicly or whatever. And then Jay Widener said, how did he say it? You guys watched the video, but he said, like, me and a bunch of the guys got together and decided, we're done. Like, we're just going to tell the truth. We're going to tell what we know, and we're not going to hold back anymore. And it was funny because yesterday, before I watched that video, I was really inspired by watching all the Seth Rich stuff come out and hearing how he was murdered allegedly for giving that information to WikiLeaks and outing what, the real coup that the Clintons did on America, and giving all that information, and now knowing that, like, Assange is most likely protected because he has all that information, and that this was all to save America and to save us, and it's really humbling thinking about these people that risk their lives with information and to get information to a decentralized or a safe place where it couldn't be destroyed to save America. And I don't know, it was pretty overwhelming when you start putting all the pieces together, but then hearing Jay say, like, we talked to a bunch of the guys and, like, it's time to move now. Now is the time. Now is the time to, like, the truth just needs to come out. And if it's going to be hard for people, too bad at this point.
You tried to roll it out and piecemeal it and spoon
Right.
feed it, and it's, at some point you just got
It's
to open the
just time.
floodgate and just
Mhm.
drown them with the truth.
So, yeah, so I'm really like at peace with it because I like the truth. It makes me feel safe. I like boundaries and I like knowing what the heck's going on. I'd
Yep.
rather see the big scary thing.
Define the rules, and then
Yeah,
now I can play the game, because before you're all sneaking up on me and sniping me. I don't see
right,
you in the dark. I want to turn the lights on and let's see what's going on,
right, absolutely. So,
and then I'll deal with it.
yeah, I feel really good about it. And we'll figure it out, whatever it is that's broken, um, or wrong or dirty, let's clean it up. Let's figure it out together. So, I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm like, let's go.
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Yeah.
Get it on.
If that even was really said, and if that even really happened, I don't.
Did the plane even go down in Shanksville? Isn't that what it was? I mean,
I don't know.
That whole thing. So many
lies.
inconsistencies. I mean, the most surveilled, or camera prone, whatever you want to call it, most, the Pentagon. I mean, they got cameras everywhere. And you show one shot of like a parking cam of like, it doesn't even look like a plane going, how's a plane fly flush with the ground straight into a building?
Mm-hmm.
No pilot can do that. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Lower than the landing gear. Also,
bouncing off the ground,
I saw a video today where they were showing that ironically, the government has been spying on Assange while he was in exile, which is exactly what he's in exile for, and that he's being accused of, is spying.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
hey, we're going to do it to you, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it, slave.
They even took video and audio when his attorneys would come visit him. Like, it's kind of insane. Which I've been sharing some of this stuff as I find it on the Telegram group. Oh, well, I'll start with that. There's also, and a judge approved a lawsuit against the CIA about the surveillance of CIA and Pompeo surveilling Assange. So that was, that's pretty huge.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal.
There
are some really
basically just, have no warrants or anything, wireless wiretaps, without a warrant, and just completely do whatever they want and use the technology against you. And
yeah.
If you say something sarcastic, because I say sarcastic things all the time. And can you imagine taking that out of context? Some of the things that you might say, which obviously, it's sarcasm. Oh, no, you said you were doing this. Okay, and so here you go. They'll use it against you.
Well, that's what what is that? Your Miranda rights. Anything you say can and will
be used
against you. Yeah, that's what they say. And will.
The air you breathe will be used against you.
Yeah, here's the
expelling carbon dioxide, which is killing the planet.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about the judge approving the lawsuit against CIA and Pompeo. There's, what was the other? Oh, remember they said it would start in Georgia, and it's really interesting because there was a thing where Sean has been talking about. We've been talking about the jurisdiction thing, and then there's been all this, news in the Indian tribal stuff. There's even more stuff with that I could tell you about, but lots of stuff with that. And then this happened today. So a TSA director was arrested by U.S. Customs, and it says like the sheriff had the
the subpoena or whatever it was.
Yes.
The warrant.
Oh, what's it doing?
I
Yeah.
saw that. I saw a blurb about that. It was like the one news item I remember.
Yeah,
Since
it's
you brought it up, I
uh
thought,
I
oh.
don't know why it won't let me share this, of course.
And I
Fox
thought, okay, what's
News.
to stop? Okay, I mean, seriously, at this point, what's to stop a sheriff, other than the Secret Service? What's to stop a sheriff when Biden shows up into a county from being arrested for treason at this point? What's to stop a
Mm.
sheriff from doing that and just apprehending him? Deputize everybody in the county and say, all right, we're arresting this dude because he's a traitor. I mean, you're gonna have a gunfight, I guess, with the Secret Service, but I mean, they're vastly outnumbered. Just saying.
Interesting. Well, so that's what Sean had kind of said. He was like, with the Texas border and them saying like,
Mhm.
we're going to arrest people. You get to come in one time and then we release you. And then if you come in again, you're going to jail for 10 years. He's like, but what if like the feds come in and say, well, no, they aren't, or yes, they are. And then it was like state versus fed, which
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is like civil war.
That's the Civil War right there.
That is
That's
the
the
Civil War.
that's the whole Civil War.
Right.
You can say it's about slavery, not slavery. That was a component leading to but anyway, it's about the freedom to make decisions as a state. And when the federal government says, no, you're not going to do that, and the state says, yes, we're going to do that, and that's why you get a civil war or a war between the states. It's like, no, we're done. We're seceding. We're done. We're not part of this union anymore. We volunteered in, and now we're opting out. And then they said, no, you're not. Bring the guns.
Right. So this is TSA Assistant Federal Security Director Maxine Mackman was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta. Hot
Atlanta, Georgia, by the U.S. Customs Border Protection. She had a warrant for her arrest posted by the St. Lucie, I'm probably saying that wrong, I apologize, County, Florida Sheriff's Office, which claimed that she had an alleged accomplice named Delroy Chambers Sr., which exploited a relative suffering from dementia and falsifying documents in their name.
They didn't know it was happening. Well, just take advantage
That's
of the
pretty
situation.
sick.
Why not?
That's pretty low. So they were arrested, or she was arrested. But that's the sheriff, and she is a TSA.
Well, exactly. I mean, because the jurisdiction thing's very important when you start digging into it. It really is, because then you know your rights, because you realize who has jurisdiction over you and who doesn't have jurisdiction over you. So it's an important concept to really hash out and understand. And I see Sean in the chat was talking about Texas is, people are saying that Texas law trumps federal law, which I think it does, just because I think Texas is still like a republic and never really, it's weird. I'd have to go back and look at the history again on that, but they're not like any other state, how they joined the union. They kind of like voluntarily stay in the collective union, when at any time they can just say, no, we're done. We're a republic. We're our own republic, and we're going to do what we want to do. So,
Interesting.
They're a unique case, but it doesn't matter if a states volunteered into it. States should be able to volunteer out of it. It's not like it's some kind of freaking satanic death cult to where it's like once you join, oh, you can't leave. Or some of these mega churches, you can't leave. I'm not going to name any of them, but you know what they are. And the next thing Tom Cruise, Miscavige, that kind of thing. You have people like hunt you down and you disappear because you want to leave the church. It's like, well, Hotel California kind of situation.
A little scary.
So every state should be able to do it. If they're done, they're done. It's like I volunteered in and now we're all volunteering out. Why are you going to bring in troops and try and kill us for doing that, for exercising our free will and our right to be human? BS. Anyway.
So along those lines of jurisdiction, and so I'm in Oklahoma, and I've been following a lot of this stuff with tribal cases, the McGirt case, and then it went to this one with Tulsa. Now today, everybody's blowing up all the liberal people. I will restrain myself.
The whole liberal thing ticks me off, because I went to a liberal arts school. I believe in liberal arts, and it's like they've bastardized the word liberal now.
Okay, well, yeah, we don't have to call names.
I know.
It's more about like a thought.
Tyrants.
And maybe that's the way that is kind of an easy way to turn us against each other and put names on, label each other. And then it's like, oh, well, you have one point of view.
You're an ultra conservative, so you want to kill everybody. You're a Nazi.
Right. And it doesn't mean that even
you're either a tyrant or you're not a tyrant. You know, it's like you're all tyrants up there.
Right. But even all of your thoughts may not be, because I've talked to people where like, oh, they think this one way about food,
Can you
but they
hear those
don't
dogs
think this
barking?
other way about, you know, abortion or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
you can't really pigeonhole people the way that they want us to pigeonhole people.
No, because we're
But
unique,
in
dynamic.
in Oklahoma with the jurisdiction stuff, people are totally missing this. And this is where I'm very sorry for the dogs barking. I hope you can't hear them. But so I thought this was really great. So the Cherokee Nation, because they were given jurisdiction of their land, which is like mostly the whole west, or no, never east.
Eastern side, right?
Yeah,
Eastern.
eastern side
Yeah.
of the state.
Mhm.
They made a declaration and said that they are going to do summer meals for native and non-native through the USDA summer food program, blah blah blah. So this was their choice, was to say like they're going to do free and reduced lunches open to all children. Now, Governor Stitt in the state of Oklahoma, our governor, refused the federal dollars for the food program. If you look at the map, which I don't have the map, dang it, I thought I retweeted the map. They're in the western half of Oklahoma. There's like not hardly any feeding stations, whatever, but there's less like schools and whatever. But there's also not the population there. And he's not saying that the state isn't going to provide food for children that are in need or
Yeah.
need free lunches there. He's just saying, F the Fed. I'm not
Right.
I'm not being beholden to the Fed and take the
Yes.
Fed dollars.
And that's what needs to happen at the state level.
Right. But these liberal people,
Libtards.
I'm trying not to say the tard part.
Oh.
I'm trying to be nice. But it's really frustrating because they just jump on this wagon of, oh, you want to starve children because you won't take federal dollars.
And put them in cages.
No,
too, right?
jackass. All he's saying is, no, I'm not going to be beholden to a tyrannical federal government that's going to boss me around and make me. And actually, when you're in nonprofit world and you learn about directed giving, it's actually like very frowned upon, and you can lose your like nonprofit license. You cannot do what's called directed giving, which is where when they give you money, they say where it goes and how it goes and whatever. So for him to say, no, Fed, I'm not going to take your dirty, filthy, co-opted, manipulative money. Our state is sovereign and going to take care of our own, and we have enough, and we are going to feed our children.
That's what needs to happen.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's what should happen. That's how you got to break free from the beast system. The whole reason why everybody knows something's
people
wrong.
are missing it.
Yeah, the whole reason why you don't see Florida seceding or Texas seceding is that, you know, in Florida, you got a lot of people drawing Social Security from the government. You know, and so as long as those checks come in, people are like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to let that go. You know, and so it's just like the lunches, you know, that as long as the school's the same situation that they're in. It's like, well, I want to do this, but I got state funding coming in and I got federal funding coming in. So you got to kind of play ball if you want the money, or you just say, F it. We're just going to support it locally. We're going to figure it out. And, you know, we're not getting any of this stuff. And guess what? Then we're not going to follow any of your rules anymore. It's going to be locally controlled like we think it is, but it really isn't.
No, I think that's
what you got to do. You just say, no, I'm done playing in the casino, walking away. And it might be painful. It's not as fun. It's a little harder. The thing is, it's much more liberating, and you get back to real freedom at that point.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Hey, Cheers. Mark Weems, we are sending you and Teresa lots of love and hugs, and thanks for stopping in. And we want to wish you a happy new year. Yeah, I'm all for saying no to, you know, the slave master. Like, I would rather be free and figure it out together. Like, I think community, we win together.
You're gonna figure it out anyway. When something's broken, what do? You call the government to fix your leaky sink, or your toilet's leaking, you call the government.
Mm-mm.
I mean, no, you call somebody locally and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
you know anybody, oh yeah, this guy's good. And you
Yeah.
call him, or her. And it's
Yeah.
just, that's what you do. You think about it on a daily basis. When you're looking for help, who are you calling? You calling to FEMA? No, no,
No.
you just don't. They don't provide anything except checks in the mail, except little handouts that they just devalue every year, every month at this
Well,
point.
and they were a slap in the face. If you look back on what we went through for the Great Infection, think about what did they give people? They gave people what, $1,200 or
Oh yeah.
something?
Meanwhile, here's a trillions of dollars we're printing, and we're going to give you this.
Yeah. So Ukraine got, how much did Ukraine end up getting?
It was like 200 billion. And
$200
yeah,
billion.
like it's something like that, because with all that stacked up. But and he's asking for 60 billion more. 60 billion Biden
Think
wants
about
to give
that,
them.
people. And you
60
got
billion.
$1,200.
What's it cost to build a wall? I mean, what's it cost for, how many houses can you pay
Wow.
off and buy from the bank? Basically free people. I mean, think about it. There's things that, how much internet can you bring to people? How much, whatever, things that are needed can you do? How many plumbing systems in, Flint, Michigan can you replace? I mean, look at all the things that you can do good with. And the big thing is in Ukraine now is, well, we exhausted the last 200 million or whatever it is out of the Pentagon slush fund that they could send over there. Now we need Congress to act and create more money to send over there. Or there's going to be a lot of people in Ukraine not getting their pensions now. That's all we're doing is funding. It's a social service program to Ukraine. That's all we're doing. They're not going to win a freaking war against Russia. Give me a break. That's a big
Okay.
shame.
And I saw a tweet go by from somebody that I trust that said, and it was like a little whisper of truth. And it was like, check into this. And it said something about, and here you are trusting or believing. I can't remember the words.
Oh, one of those little images that
It was something like, yeah, about the make believe wars or wars with make believe countries. So could it be that we're in the Kraken?
maybe Ukraine doesn't exist.
Maybe Ukraine is really just part of Russia. This war never
Might as well be
happened.
at this point.
Because think about where else is there a war that could maybe not be happening?
You got a Middle Eastern thing.
Middle Eastern thing.
The,
Could be a movie. We wouldn't know.
Israel.
How would we know?
Oh. Wag the Dog with Dustin Hoffman. Wasn't he the actor in it? Wag the Dog. They got all these images of war and all these things happening. And it's like, is it really happening? I mean, they're just doing it for funding.
Just a reason to cut checks.
I don't know. I'm not there.
And,
I have no idea.
And distract with, and that's where like I mean, we've known about this Epstein stuff for so long. And they're like, oh, Epstein part 1, Epstein part 2.
I know.
And it's like, that is such a non-issue at this point. I don't even, I mean, other than the fact that they've confirmed that
let's see
already
the video
knew.
his brother's trying to get, released in the prison or whatever it is. I don't know. He's trying to get, stuff released. He says he was murdered.
I thought there weren't video.
Well, maybe there is. They told us there wasn't, but do you believe the Department of what is it?
Of him not
Department of
being
Injustice?
murdered, of them ushering him out of the building?
I don't know. Maybe he was, and let's see who did it, or maybe he wasn't and he disappeared. Hard to say because we don't have it. We have nothing except the word of the officials who, they'll never steer you wrong.
Yeah.
Trust us.
I can't remember if it was Ben
Trust us.
or who it was. It was during my journey of awakening, enlightenment. That where I had this education about when America was founded and how, the families came over together and the Irish were considered like dirty peasants, worse than they were. A lot of them slaves. Actually, there were more Irish slaves than black slaves, especially at the beginning. Yeah. And
pay like 7 years of their life being a slave, to get brought over here.
Right.
Indentured servitude.
And then there was the Italian families, and that's why, like, in New York, I guess there's little pockets of communities because they stick to their own,
Yeah,
and a lot of
because they
that was
had to. They can't trust, all these criminals trying to rob them blind and,
right.
treat them
Also,
like
they didn't
crap.
speak languages, so it would
Right.
make
So they got
sense.
to
You would
like have,
live,
hey,
together, take
it's
care of
like
your
some,
own, you trust people, whatever.
yeah.
And with that, you had the tough guys in the neighborhood, the families, the dads, whatever, protecting people, whatever. Well, then at some point, people started using authority and they used uniforms
Mhm.
and authority to
Enforce
say
policy,
and policy
police policy.
to say like, well, we are the police. So just was thugs and mafia, which are looked down upon.
Mhm.
But
It's
then,
clan type stuff, to where it's
yeah,
like you mess with my people, okay, fine. You're going to get retaliated against, and we'll make sure it happens. So it's kind of an eye for an eye kind of thing. And that's
and
not always good.
who gets the payoff, who gets the well, then
Yeah.
who sets the policy and who does this and that. And there's something that my dad told me one time. So my grandfather, my Papa T's dad, um, had the number one license in the state of Oklahoma for uh, podiatry. It was actually chiropody back then. It was
Uh,
for foot surgery. Um, he was a foot surgeon, and he was part of creating the process of licensing doctors in the state of Oklahoma. And he taught my dad about how to fold money and put it in your hand and shake it. And he said, how did he say it?
okay, little.
You can get a lot more done with handshakes than being
Yeah,
in um,
handshakes and following rules.
politics or something like that. I can't remember the
Mm.
quote, but my dad said, and I thought about that with like now that I'm more awake and aware of how politics work and what's going on there. And I was like, man, because I know my dad and what a patriot and warrior for freedom and individualism. And I know that, like, I know he adored his father and thought that I'm sure his dad thought he was doing the right thing. And at
Right.
one point, maybe it was the right thing for America to put policies in place and think they were protecting we
Well,
the
it
people to set
no,
up
it's
a
true.
system,
That's true though. But where
but
you're
then
going
it
with it,
got corrupted.
exactly. It gets too big because you think of Upton Sinclair. I think it was like I don't even know when he wrote the book, The Jungle, and it was about the meat packing
Yeah.
industry and how horrible it was, where you got kids and men falling into the meat vats, getting ground up, and and you're eating this stuff, and it's like no rules, no regulations, and so that led to some regulations in the food packing, in the meat industry and food, kind of thing. So that's a good thing because you don't want mm, that kind of thing happening. However, now you've got the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and it's gotten so far off the rails to where you see some of these things get approved, and it's just like, why did you approve that? Well, it's you couldn't, and it's
Yes.
just it's just initially it starts out good, like unions start out good. I'm not dogging unions, but
Mhm.
unions are good because they're protecting the rights
Yeah,
of people, but it gets
right.
to a certain point where you got a leader of the Teamsters, for instance. They build Vegas with the pension fund, and it's like, wait a minute, and then what the kind of corruption goes on there, and how many people get whacked because
Mhm.
they're not playing ball. And it's just like at some point it as these things grow, they just
Yeah.
grow unchecked and they become corrupt,
I
and
guess it's
they get
just
hijacked by corrupt people,
yeah, it's
and
something
that's
that,
where we
like,
end up.
as this thing crashes and as we rebuild, I just want us to all be conscious of, like, that there were good people that were trying to build good things, and then bad ideas or manipulation got injected in there, and so can we and maybe that's where blockchain comes in, and the transparency of blockchain helps stop that corruption, so that it stays with those good intentions, because like I mean, I can remember all the stories that my dad would tell of his dad and all the he would volunteer at like, these home for single women, and he would help the people in their neighborhoods, and he would like that he was a good man, and did many good things, and so it's like okay, but was that, you know, I don't know. It's one
You
of those
know, it's human beings are mixtures of good and evil. I mean, we have, we all do things because we have to do things, given the circumstances and the times, and it's just, it is what it is. But I mean, there gets to a point where there's a level of just bad intent, to where, there are people who just don't care. Okay, I just watched the movie last night. Here's a good example. The Bitcon on Netflix. Cliff High's in that.
Bitcon.
Bitcon. It just came
Bitcon.
out. It's like
Oh,
Bitcoin, Bitcon.
ooh,
And it's about the ICO craze in 2017. It's a great movie to watch if you want to kind of get the feel of crypto in
okay.
2017. And there's a token called Centra on the Ethereum blockchain that this group created, and one of the guys behind it, I won't spoil it, but one of the guys behind it, when you look at him, you're like, he's just this con after con after con. I mean, that's what he does. And it's just like there are some people that just, and he even says it in there, he's like, well, I just, you know, I I don't know that I really have any empathy for the people I've ripped off. And there's certain people that just don't have consciences, and it's just like
Wow.
it's just I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and just because I can. And I mean, you've got those kind of people, and I call them psychopaths, sociopaths, and I mean, those are the kind of people who elevate themselves and rise to power on a narrative
Hmm.
that's really just an illusion. And so, good people, we all could do a better job than most people, who get
Sure.
elected.
Yeah.
But it's just like, do we want to go through that? I mean, it's just who wants to deal with that kind of crap? But I mean, the people that do want to deal with it, I mean, they're very egocentric people, and and so you get those people rising to power. I've seen it in corporations. I mean, those people rise to power just because they put on a good show and they tell a good story. And people are like, well, I wouldn't lie about something like that. And you project your belief system on them and think, well, they can't be that much of a liar, right? So they're
Right. But
probably
it
not
doesn't hurt
lying,
them. Yeah.
right? But they are. They're
Yeah.
liars. I mean, they're complete criminals, and they're complete. Just they don't care, and they
Yeah.
don't think
And they
anybody's
don't think
wrong with
about
it.
how it makes others
Yeah,
feel
Fire
or,
Festival, the guy that put that on, he
oh
just goes on
God.
from scam to scam to scam. It's just like this guy. It's like scam to
Hmm.
scam to scam. And it's just like, that's just their nature.
Hmm.
Again, like the snake, like the scorpion riding the frog, why should I give you a ride across the pond? You're a scorpion. He's like, oh, I won't sting you. Gets halfway across, stings him. The frog's like, we're both going to die. Why'd you do that? Couldn't help it. I'm a scorpion. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
Hmm.
That's what they are. That's just
Yep.
what it is.
Yeah.
And don't think that you're going to cure that. You're not going to cure that. And there's some people you're not going to cure. The Epstein stuff that's coming out, you're not going to cure these people of who they are.
No.
So there's got to be a way to deal with those
And
people.
they
That's where
think it's
justice comes
like
in.
when Sean says it's not about corruption, it's about power, they get off on it.
Oh, heck
They
yeah.
think
That's their thing. They love it that they're
they love
deceiving you
it. They
because
love
because
love watching you suffer. And they just
gives,
think you're stupid and less than. And
yeah,
like when I heard the Ghislaine Maxwell testimony and how she belittled these girls
yeah.
and treated them like meat for her
Mm-hmm.
disgusting boyfriend, she was like, you'll do. And literally treated them like meat. I
Yep.
just,
Exactly. It's
it
just a
is
commodity,
unbelievable.
just a commodity item that
Yes.
is to be traded and used, and and it's your
You
fault
are
if
less than them.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
You're not a human.
it's just
Yeah.
like a bully. When a bully punches you and beats you up and threatens you or does whatever he does to you, he's going to keep doing it until you stop them from doing that. And that's the only
Mhm.
time they respect you. So if you like push back and then they're like, oh, okay, maybe he's one of us, or he or she's going to stand up for themselves, and you shouldn't be put in that position to have to do that. But there's so many people that do that, and here we are thinking, oh, everybody's like me, everybody's is a pretty good person, just wants to be left alone, not messed with. No, there's bad people out there
Mhm.
that just aren't connected. It's the reptilians. I mean, their brain is different. It's not, they're missing something. I don't know what it is, but they're missing it. And they're
Yeah.
out there and they're running stuff and they're printing the money and they're
Yeah.
telling you it's valuable.
And we keep using it. So quit
And we keep
using it.
using it.
Yeah. Quit using it. Oh my gosh. I had this young lady tag or tweet, or I guess she replied. Am I using the right term? Because I was like, oh my God, Nephilim is trending on Twitter. I never thought I would ever see the day the Nephilim is trending on Twitter. Like, what reality are we in, you know? But this young lady had done an interview with a guy, and I was listening to it while I was getting ready for, I was washing all my new antique stuff. So, Webbot, oh, what's his name? Webbot. Which Webbot is it? The one with the horn. Oh, darn it. Oh, one of Cliff's Webbot guys.
Okay.
Well, I think it's Cliff Webbot. I don't know what it is. One of the Webbot guys talks to me, and
I'm not following along right now, so
sorry. Okay, I'll have my own conversation later. Okay. So he was saying I need to smudge my house for all the dead people stuff I bring in it, and I was like, well, I do kind of baptize it because I wash it all. I think that counts.
Say some prayers over it, sprinkle some holy water on it.
Yeah, I think that counts. I don't know.
Put some Tito's in a spritzer.
I think that counts.
And just do that and sanctify it all.
That might work. But so yeah, I was seeing Nephilim trending, and I was like, come on, man. So I was like, are you kidding me? I said, this is something I never thought I would see. And then this young lady, oh, am I not able to see here, maybe if I do it like this. Here it is. Emmapreneur, like entrepreneur. She says, Emmapreneur. She does these videos. She's Christian. So she prays at the beginning of her videos. Really nice girl. I checked it out. I started listening to it. And this guy, Gary Wayne, got into doing all these like research on not just Nephilim, but he says Nephilim are the giants. And he goes into like all this explanation of like in the Bible where it says this or that and which like edition of the Bible. And so it's something to listen to and kind of like, I don't know, all of this stuff I'm kind of just holding lightly, and you guys do your own research. And if this resonates with you, great. But it's about like how secret societies and the descendants of giants plan to enslave mankind. I thought it was interesting and took some pieces from it that I thought were interesting. He did talk about how like it kind of matches up that we are in end times, and that that in the Bible, I don't know which one, it said that God would envelop, did he say envelop the earth in fire. And I thought, well, that works for me. Like we can all go up and like, they did have
a
blaze of glory. I think isn't that a Guns N' Roses song?
No, it's a
I'm okay with that.
Jovi.
Oh, Bon Jovi. Well, that's okay too. But then, they did have that plane just went down yesterday. Supposedly the nuclear plane hit South Dakota.
Didn't even see this. Nuclear plane hit South Dakota.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Missed it.
Well, so
watching BitCon.
Okay. Well, so yesterday, and of course, I'm watching all the Indian stuff, the tribal stuff happen. I'm researching all that because I'm worried about the children. I'm trying to calm my mind and not worry about it. Also, the aliens in Miami, but we won't even go there.
Oh, yeah, with the big response on the mall or whatever it was there.
Yeah, supposedly they're big aliens. Giant creatures.
It was just Shaquille O'Neal.
Look into that yourself. Yeah. Where is my police scanners turned off? Oh yeah, that was the aliens. Why is it not showing? Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. It's not showing that plane crash.
Big earthquake in Japan on New Year's Day, 7.6.
And then another one, only 2.5 in DC or around DC, somewhere near DC.
Just a smidge, just a little one, little baby earthquake.
Yeah. Dang, I can't find the plane crash. That's weird because I know I shared it Let me look in Telegram real quick. But I had just, when I was looking for all my stuff with the Indian children, all my research with the Indian children missing, I had found this beautiful picture where they had just uncovered or just done like the release or the review of this beautiful statue monument of a Native American dancer. Where is it? Oh, I have to share a different tab. Let me see here. And nobody was talking about it. And nobody did any stories on it, whatever. And then this plane crashes there and it's nuclear capable. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But all four, they said all four pilots or all four military officer people got out of the plane okay. But then they didn't talk about like where the plane went down. So I thought that was strange. This was the dancer. Look at this beautiful. How does something like that get revealed, unveiled, and
That's
they
crazy.
don't talk about it?
Speaking of Crazy Horse, when's that going to be done?
It's done.
Is it completely done?
It's done, and yeah. And it just was like they did the reveal and whatever like a couple days ago, and then like
really this.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Crazy Horse statue. I'm shifting timelines on you now.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Stay with me. 2024.
Let's see. That's 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. 8. Okay, I think I'm an 8 light path. Maybe I'm a 2. I don't even know.
Okay, so that's where I got my 8. I was trying to figure out. I was like, wait, there's 2 8s somewhere. I was like, we're gonna have 8 8, which 8 8. So I watch Tom Numbers a lot because I really resonate with all that.
Yeah.
And the gematria stuff. And there's 8 8 coming up, which 8 8 is the Great Reset. It's also Donald J. Trump. It's also
like infinity and money.
Yeah.
All that.
It's also, the revaluing.
When's the eclipse? Because it's probably going to happen then. I think everything's going to like be all wonky until then, and then the whole thing just like transitions. So the eclipse is in April sometime.
It is in April.
What's the date?
I believe it's like the 20th. I believe it's
Shut up. It's not going to be. Don't tell me.
I'm not kidding. I think it is like 420 or 419.
Great. I think it is 419. That does ring a bell. 419.
Yes, Daddy-O, we take our black light with us everywhere we go. In fact, if you look at my latest haul,
world needs more black lights. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I have to show you guys something. Maybe I've already showed you.
Show us again. I got some trivia. Don't let me forget. Maybe we should give away something. I don't. Maybe we shouldn't.
Oh, you do?
I get some trivia whenever we get a lull in the chat.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So this week I was scrolling through Facebook on Marketplace because I'm trying to buy a new cabinet because I wanted to put
I need more places to put the stuff that I'm getting. And it's like my grandma had curio cabinets everywhere.
I don't have curio cabinets everywhere. It's my problem. But I wanted to have one. So how would I share this? I think I put a picture on.
Oh, and have I got a surprise for you next time you come back?
Are you kidding? Don't tease me.
Oh, somebody's going to, there's some things that have been dusted off and brought out of the cellar that you might be interested in. You can look through.
Mom should just let me go down there.
I know. You called it.
If she would let me go, I would lose my mind. Anyway, where is that picture? Yeah. Okay, hold on. I know I just posted it. I thought, there it is. Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure I had it pulled up so I didn't make you guys dizzy scrolling through my feed. Now, window. No. How do I do this? Brave tab. Okay, there it is. So this sweet man, we ended up staying at his house a long time, and then I helped him. He was so sweet. So his wife passed away before Thanksgiving, and she loved all the pretty things. And he posted this Fenton. So this is Heritage um, Cabbage Rose. And I have the musical teapot and like the cream and sugar. And then he had all of this. And so I bought all of it. And then while I was there, I kept walking around and he's like, oh no, all of this is going. He goes, and I have a whole barn full of stuff. And I was like, well, look at the jadeite picture.
When can I have a special appointment?
I know. And I was like, I will come help. So then I went through the house and I like helped him. So I was like, this is marigold Indiana glass. Like, and then he had like some other carnival glass, which he had like one Fenton carnival glass piece, which I was like, that is way more expensive than this Indiana glass carnival, which they're all nice, but the Fenton is way more valuable. I said, so like you need to, when you're Googling your prices, whatever, like pull up Fenton on this and whatever. And so I was helping him with some of it. And then we walked around and I looked at the other stuff. And then anyway, we had so much fun. And then I got a Van Briggle, this little vase, and then I got this Roseville vase. And then I wanted only the sherbet glasses in the uranium and the little candy dish in the front with the Cambridge keyhole. And then he gave me the tray in the back. And I was like, oh, it has a chip on it, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings. And so I took the chip tray too.
Took the chip.
But that does glow.
Lisa took the chip.
I did, which I wouldn't usually take that, but
took the chip.
But
everybody's going to take the chip eventually.
I know. Themselves. No, I wouldn't normally, but anyway, those glow. But it was so much fun. So, and then I told him if he needed help in his barn, I would. And he's like, well, I don't know. There's spiders and stuff in there. And I told him, I am not afraid of a spider. Just
I've seen you in action.
Ask my friend Westwood.
Nope. That's it. Next life for you. You're going. Not even a hesitation. Nope.
Done. Nope. Sometimes you got to reset.
Spider killer. Yeah, she's Lisa, the spider resetter.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a thing.
That's a classic.
Yeah. And we're starting to have international sales. We're so excited. This lady from Europe sent a message, and we have this vintage hair dryer. It's called like Polar Cub or something like that, where it's like on a stand. Like, I guess it? No, but I guess like ladies used to like put their hair in rollers, or it took so long to do your hair, your arm would get tired. So it's like on a stand.
Oh, so you can just do this?
Yeah, you just put your head by it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm trying to think.
All the things.
And then, yes, lots of Litecoin owners here. And welcome, in my opinion. And then, she wanted some other stuff, a bunch of other stuff, but the shipping was going to be really high because it's international shipping.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the off thing or whatever. But anyway, back to Litecoin. I'm glad to have some.
What are we talking about? Litecoin? We're talking about Litecoin?
Yeah, I just saw Carlos Estrada was posting something about Litecoin today.
Because he sells Litecoin watches, and I just happen to have a Litecoin watch from the Coin Vigilante.
Wow, that's handsome.
Oh yes, yes. And look at the rings. I got all the rings too.
They have
bedazzled here.
Nice. They have Litecoin Foundation posted BitPay's December usage numbers.
Oh, it's huge. 38%.
Oh my gosh.
38% of people on BitPay are using Litecoin. Yeah. And Bitcoin's down to what, 20-something%? And I mean, you want a use case coin that actually works.
There you go. I mean,
that's the whole reason I fell into Litecoin, is because, when I got into it, it's like everything, Bitcoin, that's the thing to get. And then I try and move it around and transfer it. And I'm like, okay. And then the fees go up and I'm like, okay. And you can't do a test transaction because, I just want to, they always say that, do a test transaction before you send a bunch of Bitcoin or a bunch of, and then it's like, okay, but the test transaction, it's going to cost me $20 to send $1. It's painful. So that's when I got into Litecoin, because the fees are under a penny, so it works. It's very quick, and it's got this anyway. And so people are realizing that. basically.
Yeah.
They're realizing it's a better form of transactional money than Bitcoin is. Not saying it's a better store of value, but it's
No, but
better
if you're
transactional
needing
money.
something
It's
to
a better
be
payment coin.
right, a form of payment, that's
Yeah,
what it's
it's money.
we needed utility.
Money, right? Money.
We are valuable. We needed something to be utility and money. Yeah, and that's what it is. Um, that's
That's
perfect.
huge. That's a
That's
big jump. I mean, because it passed it last month or November, and then December, it was a
wow.
huge leap. I mean, it makes sense.
So it says here Bitcoin was 23.24 and Litecoin was 38.25 for the
Mhm.
transactions in December.
Yeah. And so
That's
people are using
awesome.
Litecoin.
That's
The
amazing.
numbers back it up. And I mean, you look at the hash rate, you look at the addresses, you look at everything. Everything says that this is like massive utility, and the price doesn't reflect it, but the price doesn't reflect silver being valuable either. So it's like at some point, these things of value and their utility things that are being used will find their fair value. When that is, it's, I guess, like Vic says, the system's got to get broken and the rigged game has to end, and then you'll find the
Mhm.
true price. When does that happen? I don't know. It should have happened already. Should have happened 15 years ago in 2008. Didn't
Well,
happen.
it might happen tonight because Trump is
Could.
speaking in Sioux Center, Iowa,
Hey,
in
we've got
Mason.
what is it? The Iowa caucus is coming up, what, the 15th or something?
Okay, and you know what's different about this? I
What's
was
different?
watching a thing with oh God, what's his name? Gene Ho.
Yeah, the photographer.
The difference of the caucus, the significance of the caucus is that you have to walk your physical body into a room.
Exactly. Yes,
So
you've got to be there personally and group
yes,
up, and you come to a consensus or you come to a decision amongst yourselves
and so your
in person.
physical, it cannot be cheated because
Yes.
your body is your representation of
It's your
your
intellectual
vote.
property. You're giving away,
Yeah.
you're putting it out right there, real time, real thing, real deal. It's not.
And your physical body cannot be in 2 places at once. You cannot double spend your physical body.
There you go.
So
Pulling it into crypto.
right. So, I think
Unless you're
the
a
fact
Byzantine
that
general.
this is in Sioux City, more nod to Native American
Sioux City.
okay,
Sioux City.
um,
Spelled weird.
I'm just saying, there's a
Mhm.
there. I can smell it.
Yeah, because it's going to revert back to things that are real, and so there's probably an undercurrent of Native Americans living spiritually off the land. I mean, maybe we go full circle at some point and get back to those things that are real,
Okay,
rather than the artificial.
and with that being said, there is a patent fight, oh god, where did I put it? Hold on. South Dakota. Okay, there's 2 oh god, there's a voting thing and a food thing with the Native Americans. Um, okay.
Okay, focus.
Oh god, I'm so
Simmer down
excited
now.
about this.
Simmer down.
And then I can't sleep, and then
Okay.
okay. I don't even know which one to do first. Okay, maybe the vote thing first.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Voter registration. This is about like making who gets to vote, challenging votes. So I kind of think that if we fast forward, we are all going to be Native Americans because we're born here. I think they'll get down to the definition of what is a Native American or a indigenous American. Were you born on this land?
Yeah, I mean,
And the
you think
majority of
about
us
it.
are.
Yeah, you're
So we
born
are
with this
one,
dirt and nourished by this dirt, and
right?
you're
I kind
feet
of
on this
think.
dirt,
I think we're going to be tribes of our states,
or you're a carpetbagger. You're
maybe.
just coming in. I mean,
I don't know. Okay.
I have no problem. We're all immigrants, not all of us. Oh yeah. I guess eventually everybody. If you think the land bridge, from Asia, Native Americans came there. It's like, who knows? I don't know the whole story, but eventually it's like you got to have skin in the game, and you've got to have some sort of connection to the land in
Mhm.
order to. And it used to be you got to be a landowner to vote. you've got to have some kind of connection to that land, because if you don't, you're just some free floating, AI figure at that point, because where's your vested interest if it's not in the land? It's like, oh, I don't care, take their stuff, take their stuff, take their stuff. Once you have stuff, and once you're here, and once you're on it, and it's like that's where you planted roots, then you got skin in the game. And there's nothing wrong with having skin in the game. You should have skin in the game if you're gonna, have people represent you and make decisions. I'm just saying
It's a thing.
But instead, let's import a bunch of votes and brainwash them, and think, hey, I'm giving you goodies right now, even though they're not giving the goodies, we're giving the goodies. And it's just, but you don't know, you're coming here because, oh, shoot, somebody gave me a map, so this is the path to take. I'm going to get good stuff and free things, and I'm going to get a job. And well, sorry, you got here, and now got no, I don't know. Everybody's getting abused, and it's the people at the top that are abusing everybody else. They're just causing conflict and causing chaos because that's what they want to do. And that's why you have the Electoral College. That's why you have that, because, California, if it was a popular vote, they'd bring in 3 million people and swing the vote because they'd rig it out there. And anyway.
Okay, so then we know GMO makes us sick. All of this, once again, the feds seek tribal input on tribal intellectual property issues. The U.S. Department of Commerce, through the United States Patent and Trademark Office on Tuesday, announced it seeks tribal input on tribal intellectual property issues. The notice was published, a notice in the Federal Register on formal tribal consultation on World Intellectual Property Organization Intergovernmental Committee negotiations. Lord, I can't even say all that. Okay. In the upcoming consultation, the USPTO wants tribal input on how to best protect genetic resources, traditional knowledge, and traditional cultural expressions as they are being discussed at the WIPO. The National Congress of American Indians, NCAI, I'm sorry, and the Native American Rights Fund were quick to applaud the decision and hold this long overdue consultation.
All right. Keep going.
So they're talking about International World Intellectual Property Organization.
Whip it good.
I sent this to Reggie.
Yeah. Hey, because he's kind of into that stuff.
Yeah, well, kind of. The United States federal government needs to ensure free, prior, and informed consent from tribal nations as it develops positions to be taken in these international negotiations around genetic resources, traditional knowledge, and cultural expressions. Tribal nations and sovereign rights and authority as the holders and guardians of these aspects of our cultures that must be respected by the United States. The upcoming consultations are necessary steps to ensure these legal and moral requirements are met. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And it says, more aligned with corporations that want to access and use indigenous people's genetic resources, traditional knowledge, cultural expressions, than with the United States as roles. Okay. United States role as trustee for tribal nations.
Who's the beneficiary?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's all about that. It really is when it comes down to it. It's all about, the trusts. Who's the trustee and who's the beneficiary. And
it's good that the United States is living up to its obligation to consult with the tribal nations.
All right. So we had a friend that sent something to us in a DM. I'm not going to mention who it is, but, is it possible? Can we become I don't want to say be a tribal nation, be your own church, be your own tribal nation, be your own Vatican City, be your own whatever. Why can't we do that? Why can't we say, okay, I am declaring this a separate country. I'm declaring this a, whatever you want to call it. And that's it. I'm done. I'm disconnecting and I'm being who I am. This is my, plot,
Well, Westwood, I'm going to send you this and I'd like you to register the tribal nation of Westwood.
Bring it on. I got some Cherokee blood.
Um,
Not
Charlie's
that
Potawatomi.
matters, but
Um,
I live
because
near
it says
Peoria.
webinars for federally recognized tribal nations and their proxies will be held January 16th, 17th, and Hawaiians on Friday the
Talk about
19th.
people that got robbed. I mean, another indigenous or native people that was
Mm-hmm.
there, and they're talking.
And register in advance to participate in these webinars, and then more information is available. I just think there's another there.
Yeah, that spirit, that flavor. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it goes full circle to where we realize that hey, we're all sovereign beings from this dirt, and you guys think you can come in and just make all these rules and all these paper typewriter stuff, and take our rights away, and it's like no, it's not how it works. And I guess if there's enough of us that do that and do it, however, I don't know what the right way to do it is. I mean, but you just have to, find a way to opt out
Mm-hmm.
and be done. But, there are consequences to doing that. Again, do you want to lose your pension? Do you want to lose your Social Security? Do you want to lose those things? And you have to
They're
make that
not going to
decision.
have it anyway.
Well, no, exactly, because they're going to evaporate it. That's what they do.
They're
It's like,
sending it to Ukraine. Remember, they're paying their pension.
yeah.
There were some other stories that we talked about earlier this week. I talked with Sean, and I was impressed that Sean was surprised and bothered by it, because usually he tells me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
Good.
he
You need
was,
to get upset and bothered.
yeah, he was like, wait a minute, why is NASA spending millions of dollars sending remains to the moon? And the tribal nations are upset about it. And they're like, you need to talk to us about that, because
Why
that's
do that?
there is
What is that
apparently a
about?
treaty that no one will own the moon, and
Yeah.
they're not supposed to be doing that crap.
Because it's all those Elohim up
Defiling
there, right? They own it.
up, maybe so.
They flew it in. It's
Um,
theirs.
and then this story, really, we kind of touched on, but we didn't really go into. But this is significant. So the Interior Department announces 27 million for tribal dam safety water sanitation projects. So the tribes now own and or responsible for bridges, modern wastewater, sanitation systems, clear drinking water, reliable and affordable electricity.
Hmm.
So, since when are the tribes in charge of water projects and electricity and all of this? That's never been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm bringing this up again because we touched on it on Tuesday,
It's their
but
freaking land, right?
this is a big deal. This is like when the NDAA thing, when Public and I were reading, and the largest transfer of wealth in the military, property and power in the military years ago when Trump was in publicly. Like the Indians are being like made whole again, and nobody's talking about it. It's
Good.
not.
Let them do it, please.
Yeah. Well,
You want to kick
people need to know what's going on, but then
I love Andrew Jackson for fighting the bank because he understood, at that level, but I got a problem with him because of the whole Indian thing. He's not a big fan of Indians, but it's again, it comes down to, hey, not everybody's, clean cut, perfect, do the right thing. They got their path.
have their
It's
own
like you got
experience.
to take the good with the bad, and accept the good, and then try and correct the bad.
But it's also like not saying you own, like Warrior says, this land is my land, this land is your land. Nobody owns the land.
It's the Great Spirit. I mean, it's
right.
It's not
We are
yours.
here
You're
to
just
use
like
it for
dwelling on it. And
a little bit of time.
but think about it. You think about the whole
physically here.
non-resident alien thing. When you opt out, and it's like, I'm a dweller upon this land called Illinois. I'm not an Illinois citizen. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when you get into that different mindset, it goes back to that thinking. It's like, and that's a spiritual thing. And you think about trust. Trust God, trust. And it permeates down, and that's like the air thing, rather than naval, maritime, land of the sea, land of the law of the sea, law of the land kind of thing, law of the
Maritime
air,
stuff. Yeah.
law of the
Hmm.
air. It's like, no, this is a trust between me and God.
Yeah.
It's like none of this other stuff matters. And so hopefully we can kind of get, I don't know.
This land was made for you and me. That's right.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's where we all come together. I think that the
Yeah.
definitions will be changed. I think language is being rewritten, definitions are being changed, and that's how we will all be made one and come together. So I'm really excited about it. I don't think it's going to be as dark and scary. Um, I think it's going to get real ugly because we're going to be shown things that were ugly in the past. So I'm happy about it. I think we're going to have a wonderful time.
I watched, they had the Twilight Zone marathon, Twilight Zone, on Sci-Fi Channel, Twilight Zone marathon,
Mhm.
all the Rod Serling stuff. I always love that, watching that, because it's like the Black Mirror light of its day, getting into humanity and, what drives and, all that stuff. And it's pretty cool to watch. And, I always thought, oh man, it'd be pretty cool to live in the 50s or the 60s, and then you think, oh, it was so much better then, and, much more innocent then. And then
Oh,
you
they
think,
just were ignorant too, so
well,
much
that's
of
it. You're
stuff.
just ignorant to all the abuses that went
Yeah,
on. I mean, it's always
yeah,
been happening. You go back and read the Roman Empire stuff, and holy crap, these people are
yeah,
actually doing these things.
mhm,
That's so don't be
yeah.
deceived and think that it was better in another time. Because I mean, right now it's what the, we think it's all over, end times. It's all
I
going to
sh
shit.
I shared,
It's like, no, as long as you're a light in the darkness, then it
who
be
is
the
this
good.
guy? There's this
These
brilliant man.
freaking wheat
Who's the
evil
Tom
people.
Clancy, or the Jack Ryan in real life? Is it what's his name? Uh, oh my god. I
Pachenik,
watched Patenik?
Steve
Pachinik?
Pachenik.
Okay, I
That's the
watched the
guy that,
video
I
of
don't know if he
him.
is. I don't know if he's the
He's
guy, but Steve Pachenik. It's hard
okay,
to
well, he's
spell.
where, like, my peace journey walk started. That was the other part of, like, him saying, like, the coup of the Clintons was in 2016,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. Don't pay your
and
property taxes and see what happens. No, I
and
agree.
and we
The real,
had,
I know.
the information from WikiLeaks, from Assange and all that. And so that's an amazing video. I think I shared that on Telegram as well. If not, um, let me know. But that was very, like, affirming of, yes, like, this is what's happening. And then when I saw Jay Widener say, like, it's time, like,
And
we
you know
got to
what? You
talk
know what
about it.
fixes all this? I mean, we got Doyle in the chat saying, don't pay your property taxes and see what happens. And he's absolutely right. You'll see what happens. You own your property. Well, you think you do. You got title to it. And then they say, well, you didn't pay your property taxes. Next thing you know, the sheriff serves you with papers, and it goes up on auction, and somebody buys it for taxes, and, you lose your property. And the local sheriff in that department will escort you out, and they'll take you away. But you got to look at it from the standpoint of, that's why I hope, there's a right way to do it, and there's probably a way to get around it. There's a lot of people that talk about different ways to do it. Get a lodial title. This is how you do it. Blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, though, might makes right in this system. If they've got the force, and what good's it going to do you if they put a bullet in your head? You might be right, but so to me, it's like, just crash this dollar already. Let's just forget
Yeah.
about it. Quit worrying about what this system is going to pay you and how many poker chips they're going to give you and what
Hmm.
stack you have, because you're still in the casino. Let's control demolition the casino and say, done with it. Now let's figure it out, and let's get back to what's real, and reset this stuff, because until then, we're just playing games. I
I'm
mean,
with
and
you.
that's it, and they keep on manipulating with the money, keep doing the same old thing and dragging it out. And it's just, oh my gosh, gas is only $2.83 a gallon right now. I went by today. I got out of the house today, so it's under $3. I actually saw that, oh, gas is down a little bit, so people feel better. It's like, oh, okay, gas is under 3. Oh, psychologically they feel better. But it's all just fake digits. It's digital
Mhm.
digits up there. It's
Yeah, when
363,
Powell is
283. What
telling
is
you
it?
they had a meeting to decide if they were gonna change the rates, like,
Right.
it's all manipulation. They tell you
Right.
how they're gonna manipulate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to
all
control
the
the
joke.
money supply and make your life harder or easier. And then if we make it easier, you're going to have all this money that you have access to. But, it comes at a cost, because that's
It's
inflationary
only
and
to enslave
price go
yourself more.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's just mind control stuff.
Yeah.
You're not free. Because you're playing with their stuff, their tools that they've created. It ticks me off. And I did make a video today for the first time in like 2 weeks. I was in the car,
wow.
and I talked about that's basically
I didn't get
what
a
it is.
notification.
No, I did it like right before the show.
Okay.
But I mean, you just at some point you're just done with the mind tricks, and it's like I'm done. Enough people need to get to that point. I'm done. And I look at cryptocurrency, this tool that we've been given 15 years ago. Nobody uses it. I mean, yeah, there are people that use it. You see what's happening on BitPay and that kind of thing, but it's a third party. I mean, you're using BitPay to do it. It's an intermediary. I mean, I look at Blocks and Digibyte, and like the best, in my mind, the best, day-to-day form of money, 15-second blocks, like boom, done. There's like 1 or 2 transactions per block. Nobody uses this stuff. We've got the tools to do it. And my point is, I want to interact in crypto. I want to interact in decentralized money. If I have that opportunity, that's what I want to do. If somebody wants to do something for me, or I do something for them, please pay me in that. Please. Please, let's use these tools. Because if we don't use these tools, we're just going to get hijacked and think, oh, let's just put your Bitcoin in the ETF, and it's going to.
Oh my God, I got so pissed off. I saw somebody that I really respect being all excited about.
Oh, ETF, baby.
They got some more of the guidelines filled out for the ETF. I was like, they're making your Bitcoin into a derivative.
Right.
And
remember,
stop celebrating that.
Virtue Financial, anybody all in. Then Bix came out, this week, and I knew he'd be on it, and he found it, and he probably didn't hear me do it, but he does his own research. And then he made a video, and he's like, "It's the same people. Let's meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah.
They're rigging the game with the same people." And it's like, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're going to do that with Bitcoin. But, guess what? There's 2,000 plus other cryptocurrencies out there. You don't have to participate in that. You can still do peer-to-peer transactions with other coins. That's what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's build our own ecosystem rather than, oh my gosh, well, I can get another Lambo. Cool.
Let's not.
Come on, man.
All right. I got to run. I'm up for spaces if it's later. Okay. I gotta do some family stuff real quick.
All right, sounds good. Oh, on the last note, the trivia question that blew my mind. Do you realize that John Tyler was the 10th president of the United States? He was born in 1790. His grandson is still alive today. Not his great-grandson. His grandson is alive today.
1790.
He was born in 1790, and he served as president in like 1841 to 45. And he had a son, and he had a son, and that grandson is still alive right now. I mean, that's crazy to me. It's true. I looked it up.
What's he eating?
He's like 93. I mean, so that's the thing. His dad lived like 90s, and then that 90s. And so, that's crazy. 10th president of the United States, grandson is still alive right now. Mind-blowing.
They murdered my family. They thought they murdered me. My actions are not vengeance. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Telling you that. Do you get it? We are in a war. It's a digital war. You just watch what happened a couple minutes ago, and then you're wondering, but why doesn't he tell us this detail right here? Why? Why the fuck do you think I don't? Are you pissed yet? You've got days to save your country. And when people do what they have to do, don't be fussing like somebody is overstepping the line. If you hear that from somebody, tell them to shut the fuck up and get out of our face. We're not letting the steal stand. Take that and stuff it right up your ass. It's not gonna happen. Am I being clear enough?
I noticed listen.
My administration will be here for you every single step of the way. We've done everything we can do, and now we're just waiting for the storm. And I guess it's right behind me. It's following me.
We're on the front lines of the most important battle in history, and it is a battle to save democracy and freedom and human liberty and human dignity from this totalitarian cartel that is trying to rob us simultaneously in every nation in the world of the rights that every human being is born with. So thank you for your courage, thank you for your commitment, and thank you for your brotherhood. And I can pledge to you that I will go down dying with my boots on, fighting side by side with all of you to make sure that we return these rights and preserve them for our children. And I will see all of you on the barricades. Thank you.
I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.